I'm Katie Martin.
And I'm Chris Hicks, and we're Extension Agents with the University of Tennessee.
Every day, Extension agents in 95 counties across the state help ensure Tennesseans have better farms, homes, and communities.
We're traveling the Upper Cumberland to introduce you to the farmers, families, and Extension agents who are cultivating communities.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cultivating Communities. We are so excited today because we have the season finale right here in Smith County.
We've had a really fun time traveling the Upper Cumberland, meeting some great farmers, some Extension agents who are doing a wonderful job in their communities. But we're excited to be home today to highlight some of our farmers here in Smith County and the great work that they're doing. So agriculture in Smith County is quite diverse, a lot like the other Upper Cumberland counties that we visited. We've got a lot going on in agriculture, from row crop production to livestock and forage. It really is a diversified. In fact, I think it's interesting that Smith County is in the top 10 for fruit production in Tennessee. We've got several growers that have grapes. We have a winery here in Smith County. We've got tomato production. We've got watermelon production, strawberry production, so it is really diverse. But the main crops are things like tobacco. Tobacco historically was our main cash crop. When I was growing up, everybody had tobacco, it seemed, and now it's really consolidated into just one or two large growers, but we're still in the top 10 in tobacco production because we have a lot of acreage still in tobacco. Corn and soybeans, we've got over 10,000 acres in Smith County of corn and soybeans, and those farmers, there's not a lot of those, but they do farm several acres. It's amazing to go out there and see the technology that they've got and the equipment that they run. It's very capital intensive, but they do a great job producing the food that we ultimately have on our plate. In livestock, we've got mainly cattle, but we're also heavily involved in small ruminant production. But cattle is the #1 livestock that we have in Smith County. As far as extension programs, we try to do a lot of education for all of these various agriculture enterprises. We've got a master beef producer class that we do a couple of times a year. We have a master small ruminant course. We partner with several other Upper Cumberland counties. Many of those extension agents you've seen through Cultivating Communities, and we host the Upper Cumberland Small Ruminant Conference. We also do things for our row crop producers. We do variety trials where we try to figure out what varieties of corn and soybeans work best in this area. We also have pesticide classes for our row crop producers. One really neat thing that we did last year was a grain bin rescue training where we actually fundraised to buy rescue equipment for our local emergency personnel and train them on how to use that. That way, if there was ever an accident with a grain bin where there was an entrapment, we would have the equipment here in Smith County as well as other Upper Cumberland counties to hopefully get that person out. We hope that never happens, obviously, but we've got that equipment in case that it does. We've got a lunch and learn program that's a lot of fun where we do things like gardening and lawn care, topics like that. We partner with the Chamber of Commerce on that as well. So a lot of classes and opportunities. We go on field visits and farm visits quite often as well. We have field days for our livestock and forage producers. One thing that I really focus a lot on in my extension work is forage production. We teach a lot of forage classes and have field days related to forage. I think what a lot of people don't understand, you know, animal agriculture gets a bad reputation sometimes. You'll see in the media things about the belching cows and the methane given off, but what you don't realize and maybe don't think about as you drive by and see all these green pastures and all this grass growing, that's millions of tiny solar panels out there that are pulling out carbon dioxide from the air. We're growing that grass on land that typically isn't suitable for other crops, so maybe some of these hillsides that we have in Smith County that we can't grow other crops, but we can grow grass, and we use livestock to turn that grass into an edible product with it's high in protein that we can consume, and in my opinion, it's pretty delicious as well. So we really do a lot of various educational programs here in the county. Also, we've got a tremendous 4-H program. I grew up in the 4-H program here in Smith County, so it's near and dear to my heart. Miss Katie does a phenomenal job with our 4-Hers, everything from public speaking to livestock projects to different project groups, archery, judging teams. We've got several different judging teams. Many of them have competed at the state level. So we've got some outstanding kids, and we've got an outstanding 4-H agent working with those kids to make the best better, as we say. We've got a family consumer sciences program that's really good. Mary Draper does a really good job with that. She's our FCS agent. She works a lot with FCE clubs, and those FCE clubs are all about service. They're about service and education in their local communities, and they really have a big impact on our local communities here in the county. Mary also does classes like Tai Chi. She does Walk Across Tennessee, which is a really fun program where you walk and get active and get enough miles as a team to effectively walk across the state of Tennessee, promoting exercise and being physically fit. So she does a great job. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Rachel Petty, who is our outstanding administrative assistant and has done such a good job with editing this video. These videos that we've done, this Cultivating Communities series, we couldn't live without Rachel. She does a great job, and she's the backbone of our office. So we've got a good team here in Smith County. I'm really proud of the work that we do, and appreciate you all joining us as we've tried to introduce you to Smith County and also some other counties here in the Upper Cumberland. Join us as we head over to Katissa Farms. We're going to meet up with George McDonald and learn all about the row crop industry here in Smith County.
Hello, I'm George McDonald. I'm the 4th generation farmer here at Katissa Farms. My great-grandfather started Katissa Farms in 1927. At that point in time, he was farming 257 acres with 3 full-time employees here on our farm. Today, Katissa Farms encompasses a little over 7,000 acres. We're farming in 6 different counties today. Our operation consists of corn, soybeans, wheat, strawberries, and watermelons. We are a little different than a lot of farms in our area in the fact that we're more vertically integrated. And what I mean by that is we try to maximize our profit by saving on the front end and marketing higher on the back end. And by doing this, what we do is we buy, for example, fertilizer. We have a fertilized plant that we do our own blending with. We have a grain facility that we store grain. We have specialty markets that we sell our corn to. We have specialty markets that we sell wheat. And in the process of not only that, by being involved with the produce, with the strawberries and watermelons, what we gain from that is a better utilization of our labor, plus we spread some time out throughout the season of doing different things. We're also, with produce, we're not directly connected to the commodity market, so that takes out some of the volatility that we have with our grain being corn, wheat, and soybeans. Our watermelons that we grow are direct shipped to a major grocery chain. We supply to about 50 stores in the Nashville market, about a dozen stores in the Knoxville market, and Cookeville and Crossville, Tennessee. Our strawberries are marketed local, as many of you know, who we appreciate your business that you've given us through the years here at Katissa Farms. We sell locally. We have people who sell on a commission for us. We have youth organizations who sell our strawberries as a fundraiser. And then we market through high-end retailers in the Nashville market. Today, involved in the operation, we have 8 full-time employees. My daughter Sarah Owen is the 5th generation to be involved in our farming operation. I'm very fortunate at what I do. I love what I do. It's not a job for me. It's something I look forward to getting up to every day and going to. And it's like I tell people, we have no one who really works for us. We all work together. And it's not a job for our employees. It's a place we all go to earn a living for our families at. When I think about what I enjoy the most, I look back to my FFA days about a speech I give in 1978. And there's a pride of accomplishment when involved in farming that no other job in the world can offer. I still believe that to this day. There are challenges to it. In our operation, yes, we're a family farm. Yes, it's my family heritage. But first and foremost, though, our farming operation is a business for us. When we start looking at challenges that we encounter in our farming operation, one of the challenges we constantly have is labor for produce, because it's back-breaking hard work. We have to utilize some government programs to get employees in to do that part of harvesting for our products, for our produce, whether it be strawberries or watermelons. Another issue that we run into sometimes is just logistics. Being scattered out like we are, we do have issues in getting equipment moved and to different locations. We've been very blessed and very fortunate to do it safely. We try to respect other people on the roads when we're moving, because I too don't like to get behind a lot of farm equipment going slow down the road, but it's just part of what we do. And during the COVID-19 that we've all been experiencing, I think it's done one good thing for agriculture and some other industries, is people's taken a little different appreciation of what it is to have a safe and bountiful supply of food. You know, we get excited, we overreact to a lot of things, but it has been good that people realize that, you know, it's pretty nice to have our food grown locally, pretty nice to have our food grown in the U.S. so we know what it is, how it was produced, and what products have been used on it. I think agriculture is an industry that is wide open, because usually when people think of someone being involved in agriculture, they traditionally think of someone farming. And it's only a man's world, not anymore. Women and men alike are involved in agriculture. And agriculture is much more than doing physical work. Agriculture can be involved in GPS and GIS technology. All the technologies that we use on our operation are mind-boggling even to me to this day. I would give the advice to that young person to explore that career in agriculture and see what you really like doing. For example, if you like growing produce, start out with strawberries, something that's a high dollar revenue crop, very expensive to grow, but once again, you put the work into those specialty products, you can get involved in it. When you start looking at the row crop operation side of Katissa Farms, I love that part of it too, but it's a very capital, very expensive operation to get involved in. But like always, do not go past what your skill set is. You'll have to expand that along the way, but reach out and talk to those people who've been involved in it and who have been successful about it. Who cares what they talk about at the store or on social media? Talk to the people who have done it. I would belittle myself if I didn't close like I usually close when I have different civic groups here. You know, this morning when you got up, you had a lot of things you were worrying about. You was worrying about what the weather was going to be like. You was worrying about the COVID-19 cases. You was worried about how you was going to get accomplished what you had to for work. You was worried about what the kids was going to be doing. You was worried about, did you have gas in the car? We have never had so many things to worry about as a society. But the thing that I always want to remember and want to remind people of is that when we have plenty of things, when there's plenty of food, there's lots of problems. But when there is no food, there is only one problem.
Join us as we head over to Pascal Farms and talk to Eddie Paschall about how he raises his Hereford cattle.
I'm Eddie Paschall. I've got a century farm on the Caney Fork River right across from Stonewall, Tennessee. We've got about 135 acres and we run roughly 50 mama cows. we pretty much background our calves for 45 to 60 days, and we've been participating in the Tennessee Beef Alliance sale now for several years. Predominantly Hereford cattle, and I use an Angus bull. Every 3 to 4 years, I'll come up with I'll purchase a Hereford bull and then try to keep heifers out of him for probably 2 years before I get rid of him. So I do prefer to raise my own heifers. I've tried a lot of other things, and seems like I always decide that I know what I'm getting when I keep heifers out of my cows, and I'm just more satisfied with that. I've been what you might call rotational or intensive grazing now for 25 or 30 years, at least 25. And I started out with just one lot, about a 20-acre lot, divided into 4 tracts, just to see how it would work. And I sort of liked that, and then I went to fencing and re-fencing and getting waters and adding to and taking away from, but I'm not sure now, but I think there's probably 18 different paddocks here today. I'm not exactly sure if that's right, but it's close. They range anywhere from, say, 4.5 to 5 acres on up to about 15. 15 is a little bit big, 4.5 is probably small. But basically, I'm very happy with that rotation. I predominantly like to cut spring hay, middle of May hay. I store all my hay inside. I do cut some fall hay just because it's there. Other than that, and keeping those cows and cutting their hay, and we do all of our hay work pretty much. We do all of our hay work, cut all of our hay off this piece of land. One thing I've always tried to do on this particular piece of property, when you drive in here, you see a nice farm, but at the same time, you don't see a lot of wasted money. You see this, there, and that, and you think, well, why is that? What do you need that for? I tried to avoid that the best I could. I tried whatever I bought, and this farm is pretty much paid for what the improvements I've made on the farm and the cows. I've not put a lot of outside money in this farm. I've been a member of the Tennessee Cattle Association for years, I'm gonna say early 80s. And I've always tried to attend these meetings. I've been tried to be active with the county association. And if there's a meeting somewhere and some kind of informative deal, I've tried to be there. And even today with the extension's doing a really good job today. I was asked to run for the board in, I'm gonna say, the mid-90s. And I've been on the Smith County Board, Farm Bureau Board ever since. And I want to encourage everybody there's a really dire need right now for young volunteers to step up and take some of these offices. You get on these boards, you say, I don't want that, I don't want that. It don't pay anything, of course, but at the same time, I mean, you need to be involved with what's going on. There's so much going on so fast today. If you're out front, you could hold on, or you might derail some of these things. And you think, well, I can't do that. No, you can't be yourself, but if you're part of a group, you possibly could influence. Tennessee Farm Bureau has a tremendous influence in the legislative process in Nashville. You need to get out there and do what you can to make things a little bit different in your community. It's sort of hard. I'm at the age now where that I need to get out of the way and let some of these younger people come on. But it's real hard and real difficult for me to step down if I don't see somebody stepping up. To live on this farm every day, people driving down the road think, oh, look at that, look at this, and look at that. And they see these big green tractors and all these barns and think, oh, look at the money he's a-making. Honey, all he's doing is making a payment on that green tractor. That's all he's doing. But he loves it. He loves it. And that's exactly why he's out there. It's not that he's getting rich. It's just one of those things that he enjoys and one of the pleasures he gets out of life. And that's just the way farming is right there. If we didn't love what we do every day, we would never be out here.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cultivating Communities. I've loved our time in Smith County today as we got to meet with some of our outstanding farmers that are not only doing great agriculture production work, but they do so much for our agriculture industry as a whole and our local community.
You've got George McDonald, he's president of the Tennessee Corn Growers Association. Eddie's active not only in the local Farm Bureau level, but he's been involved on various state committees, and that's what it's about, being involved. And we hope in season 1 that you all have learned something about agriculture. And if you've missed any episodes, we hope you'll go back on our YouTube page and subscribe to our channel, check out those videos, and hopefully get geared up for season 2.
We'll see you back for season 2.
Not this week, today.
It was fine. No,
Should've stopped. Okay, all right, last one. We're gonna do it. Eddie, this is our final take.
Eddie's like, I didn't have to start over ever.
Yeah, Eddie didn't make any mistakes.
We hope you...
Not your best work.
How'd I do? Did I get that plug in?
Great.
Yeah, good. You know, we gotta have that somewhere.
So join us as we...
And guys, I think that's good.
You think it's good without saying join us?
Good.
Surely Rachel can make it work. She's good. Rachel's good.